Hello. You have accidentally galloped into the view from the crow's nest. I'm Robert Crowe, and whenever I get around to it, I investigate some interesting topics. Our program today is Richard the Absent. His nickname was Richard the Lionheart, or if you prefer, Richard the Lion-Hearted. He was King of England for 10 years, but spent most of his days chasing around Europe with his armies. Richard was one of the 5 sons of King Henry II. William, the oldest son, died at a young age. The second son was called Henry the Young King because he was named Associate King while his father was still alive. Richard was born in 1157, the third of the 5 boys. Fourth son, Geoffrey II, spent most of his years leading armed revolts against his father. Geoffrey died in Paris in 1186, plotting yet another insurrection. John was the youngest son. Henry the Young King and Richard wanted more territory to rule, so they tried to overthrow their father, Henry II. The revolt failed, and the father probably said, boys will be boys, and forgave both of them. Henry the Young King unexpectedly died in 1183. Richard was next in line of succession and became king upon the death of his father, Henry II, in 1189. The title Richard the Lionheart was bestowed at a young age because of the courage he exhibited. He commanded his own army at the age of 16. After becoming king, Richard set off for the Third Crusade. Saladin, the Muslim king, had captured Jerusalem, and Richard wanted to regain the city. But first, Richard went to Sicily, where his sister, Joan, was being held in prison. Joan had been married to the king of Sicily, but after his death a new regime had her imprisoned. Richard defeated the local forces and placed his nephew as king of Sicily. Richard won other battles on his way to Jerusalem, but was unable to reclaim that city. He departed for England, but was shipwrecked and held prisoner. After a ransom was paid, he arrived back in England in 1194. In 1199, he heard that there was Roman gold in a castle in France, and it was during this siege that Richard was killed. During the years of Richard's absence from England, his youngest brother, John, was acting king, and he became king upon the death of Richard. John was a cruel and despised ruler, the subject of disdain in the fictional tales of Robin Hood. Richard the Lionheart didn't have an impressive list of accomplishments, but he certainly had a good press agent. That's the program for today. Check back often and see if we ever have the courage to try this again on another random topic. I'm Robert Crowe with The View from the Crow's Nest.